There comes a moment in every life when you realize you've been moving, but not forward. You've been spinning, working, striving, achieving, falling, trying again, always in motion, but somehow standing in the same invisible circle. You wake up, you survive, you go to bed, and you call that existing. I remember the night I understood this. It wasn't a lightning bolt of revelation. It was quieter than that, like the sound of something breaking gently. I was driving home after another long day, the city lights rushing past like data through cables. Music played, messages blinked, thoughts collided. That sentence stopped me. It felt heavy at first, almost uncomfortable, like a stranger in my own car. When I finally listened, it spoke. But slowly, the image came. A great cosmic wheel turning endlessly, and there I was, somewhere near its center, walking faster and faster, believing that if I just moved enough, I'd escape it. But you can't escape what... That night marked the beginning of my unraveling. For weeks I watched my life as if from a distance. I noticed how often I moved without presence, how my hands typed, but my mind wandered, how I spoke words that didn't match the vibration of my truth. Everything seemed fine on the surface, but I felt hollow beneath the noise. And in that hollowness, a new question was born. What if awakening doesn't happen after the wheel stops, but right in the middle of it? I started paying attention to small things. The sound of coffee dripping in the morning, the way sunlight touched the floor like a slow blessing, the quiet pulse in my chest reminding me, I am here. And in those micro moments of awareness, something incredible began to shift. Life didn't slow down, but my perception did. I began to notice the space between moments, the pauses that had always existed but never been inhabited. Those pauses felt like doorways. One evening during a walk, I watched the crowd moving like a current, phones glowing, faces blank, everyone running somewhere but arriving nowhere. I stopped walking. I just stood there, breathing. And in that stillness, the city looked different. Not broken, not chaotic, just unconscious. Like a dream that no one remembers they're dreaming. And I wondered, what happens when one dreamer wakes up while the rest keep sleeping? That question became my compass. Every time I felt lost in noise, I whispered, wake up inside the dream. Not later. Not when life is easier. Right now. In the middle of the wheel. It wasn't easy. Awakening never is. Because the moment you start waking up, everything that kept you asleep tries to pull you back. Fear, comfort, habits. People who liked you better half alive. I began to notice how the world rewards numbness. How being busy is confused with being important. How silence is mistaken for weakness. How stillness threatens those who fear seeing themselves. And yet every time I chose to stay awake, to feel instead of react, to breathe instead of rush, the wheel lost a little of its power. It still turned, but I wasn't spinning with it anymore. I had found the center. The center isn't a place, it's a state. It's that space inside you untouched by chaos, the calm eye of the storm. It's where awareness lives. From there, you can watch everything, joy, loss, success, pain, without becoming any of it. It's not detachment, it's mastery. It's the soul remembering that it came here to dance in time, not drown in it. One morning, after months of inner silence, I woke up before sunrise. The world was gray and still, and I felt something pulling me outside. I walked barefoot onto the cold ground and watched the horizon blush with light, and I realized how often we wait for something big to change us, when everything sacred happens quietly, while no one's watching. The sun didn't rush, the earth didn't ask permission to turn. They simply continued their rhythm, and I understood. The universe never hurries, yet nothing is left undone. That morning I stopped fighting my own rhythm. I stopped trying to catch up with other people's timelines, other people's expectations, other people's definitions of purpose. The real awakening wasn't about escaping the wheel. It was about learning to turn with grace. As days passed, I noticed how the same situations that once triggered me no longer did, not because I became indifferent, but because I could finally see through them. The colleague who provoked me was my reflection in disguise. The rejection I feared was an invitation to stand on my own. Every conflict was a mirror, every frustration a message. And I realized that life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us, and sometimes through us. The wheel isn't our prison, it's our classroom. We keep thinking awakening means leaving the system, abandoning society, or isolating ourselves in mountains or monasteries. But maybe true enlightenment happens on a Monday morning, in traffic with the radio off and your breath steady. Maybe it happens in the grocery line when you choose patience over anger. Maybe it happens in silence, when you finally stop explaining yourself and start existing fully. That's the paradox of awakening. It feels like leaving the world, but it's actually the moment you finally arrive in it. Weeks later, I had a dream. I was standing at the center of a massive wheel made of light. Around me, countless smaller wheels turned, each one a life, a story, a choice. Some spun fast, some barely moved. And then a voice, not from outside but from within, said, "Every wheel turns until awareness enters it. Then it becomes a spiral." The image burned into me. The spiral, movement that rises. The same energy but now ascending. That's what awakening is. Not stopping life, but elevating it. The same routine, the same world, but a higher vibration, a wider perspective. When I woke, tears ran down my face, because I understood that we've all been spinning for lifetimes, waiting for the moment we realize that the key was never to escape, but to evolve. The spiral is evolution in motion, and once you start moving upward, there's no going back. I began sharing this with others, not as a teacher, but as a reminder. I'd tell friends, you don't have to leave everything behind to awaken. Just start being present where you already are. Presence changes the frequency of any place. A conscious person in an unconscious world is like a candle in a dark room. It doesn't need to fight the darkness. It simply shines, and light doesn't rush to prove itself. It just exists. Soon I noticed others shifting too. Not because I told them what to do, but because energy speaks louder than advice. When you live awake, you become a mirror where others see their own potential to awaken. And that's how the wheel begins to transform, not by force, but by frequency. We keep waiting for revolutions to come from outside, governments, systems, technology. But the real revolution is silent. It begins the moment one person decides to stop running and simply be. It begins with awareness returning to its center. If you've listened this far, maybe you felt it too. That subtle call to wake up inside your own story. Don't wait for perfect circumstances. Don't wait for the wheel to stop turning. Close your eyes, take a breath, and find the still point inside you. That's where the real world begins. Because when one person awakens, the entire wheel of humanity shifts just a little, but enough to start the spiral. And that's how the universe evolves, one conscious heartbeat at a time.